and welcome to a video that's pretty much just for us girls. Sorry guys, I do not like excluding you guys because to me that's just mean, okay? I'm very much a tomboy, so I like to be all inclusive of all genders in any conversations. But maybe, I don't know, if you're a father of an autistic child or you have someone in your family who's autistic, but then again, even that, you probably don't want to know about this. I can pretty much guarantee that. It's probably something you're like, yeah, I'll just leave that one. So anyway, but you're welcome to listen. So us women, right? Hi, autistic ladies. Let's talk about, and especially, and that's why with this one, I'm not going to swear, I'm not going to say anything inappropriate, because if you want to share this with a adolescent who is autistic, those times are tough for autistics in adolescence, okay? It's tough. It's really, really tough. And so this is a video that's here to help. And this extends, and I don't think it hurts for even a young person to hear, but this is also for you older ladies as well, like me, who have to go through the next steps of cycle of something, which is perimenopause and menopause. All of it's related. Even I'm going to talk a little bit about our childbirths, if you've had one, because that is another trauma for autistics, because there's a lot of sensory problems involved in birthing a child. And even though it's the most amazing experience a woman can have in her life, it's a very pivotal moment in their life. I know that my children made me turn from a girl to a woman, and step up in life and be, hey, there's no more being immature and selfish. I have a child, or children, once I have my second. So let's talk about the beginnings. Adolescence. Everything's fun and games when you're just a little kid. And then we start to get hormones. Now, autistics have our own struggles because of alexithymia with emotions, okay? So as a child, before I started to get some hormonal reactions, sorry, I've got my heat pad on my tummy because I'm still got a sore tummy. Anyway, so even before, let's talk about autistic girls, okay? For you mums, and if you were an autistic girl, or say if someone lets their autistic girl watch this, it is so normal for us as little girls with that age group of like primary school, right? Where we come home from school and we have a meltdown. Because at school we've tried, well, I know I was the type of autistic girl that wanted to please. I was the goody two-shoes, I was the good girl, but every now and then I wasn't. That used to surprise the teachers quite a lot, because every now and then I was a rat bag. Even my mother was probably very confused, because most of the time I would do the right thing, and then every now and then I'd do something really stupid, and she'd be like, what? Like, if my ADHD was bad, I'd be sitting upside down on the couch in a headstand watching telly. And she'd be like, what are you doing? Watching TV? Why? Like that? And yeah, anyway, she just used to describe me to her friends as a very animated child. Or she's overly shy. That was the thing for my not talking. So basically, and if anyone heard from me, which is normally only the people that I knew since birth, meaning I knew of their existence my whole life, they were the only ones who would hear a squeak. And it normally would be like, you know that girl in Pitch Perfect? That was me. That was me. So that's basically, and you know, that's me just saying hi or bye or something like that. So I was the parrot of the family. So they didn't say things in front of me because they're like, she'll just repeat that again and again and again. And I have a very good memory. So I got irritable a lot, just being an autistic kid. Getting home, I was the kid that didn't like clothes. I still don't like clothes. I'm very fussy on my clothes. I sometimes buy clothes that I can't try on, say, and I donate it straight away to charity because it's like, I will never wear that. I know immediately, and I don't even waste my time anymore. So, very particular about my clothes, and everything has to feel too big for me slightly. I cannot wear my actual size. Certain materials I cannot tolerate. Anyway, so I would walk in the door, stripped down, just to my knickers, because I was comfortable then. I didn't have boobies, okay? I was a little kid. So I'd walk around the house and just get my snack, and I'd be so comfortable. And then anything that was, say, asked of me, I would turn into the devil child. Like my head's going to spin round. The meltdown would just kick in, and I'll just be on the floor, kicking and screaming, and that just pushes me over the edge. Anything that was expected of me once I got home from holding everything in all day at school, trying so hard to please the teachers, so hard to learn. I had 3 learning disabilities. So learning for me was brain straining, okay? Was really hard. I went to a different school every year. That was really hard. So basically, it was a hurricane, okay? I was just cyclone, everything, all of those bad storms. I was a storm, and my mum had to deal with that on the regular. I would say it'd be lucky if I got home from school in primary school and I didn't have some kind of like meltdown. Then I did at about 12. Her and her friend kind of, made a bit of thought it was funny to tease me a little bit about, oh, she's getting a bit hormonal, because I was getting extra irritable. And I was, when I look back, this is when I was just turning 13, and I think I was getting irritable. So anyway, I was struggling with that. That turned me back into, I kind of regressed a little bit because I just started talking a lot around 11, nearly 12. I was coming out of my shell with different people that I never used to speak in front of before. I was learning more scripts that I didn't have before, either copying from friends or just, I don't know, like my family, having such a large family, a lot of them taught me a lot of things without them even realizing. I think they just saw a situation and said, this is what you say. It was just natural to do. None of us knew it was autism. So I had more skills, but I kind of regressed a little bit because I shut down and went in my shell a little bit. My emotions, because of my hormones. Now, in psychology, I've studied this formally. Hormones are the basis of our behavior. A large sum of our behavior, hence why we say men are like this and women are like this. That's hormones. It's fact. It's not fiction. It's not a theory. It is genuinely hormones. That's why men need to give grace to women who suffer PMT and all the other PMTs. And there's a lot of different ones. And including even the hormones around childbirth that we go through, the ups and downs. In pregnancy, the way we are. In perimenopause and menopause. It is a real thing. And the education is lacking in Australia for the women, for us going through it. And the men should also be informed in society of how to treat women with respect in these areas. But they don't, because apparently women's health, they don't give a well, okay? They don't care about women's health. So all of you youngins, be proactive. When you have any health issues, write things down. Don't be afraid to look things up. You don't have to go deep, just look at the basics. Discuss things with your doctor, someone you feel comfortable with. Take a support person with you. If you don't have family or a good friend that you trust to take with you and you're young, please take a professional advocate. There are professional advocates you can take to your medical appointments. So anyway, we don't get guidance through this ourselves as women in Australia, let's say. Let me know your country. I'd love to know. So when I got my period, I was traumatized because I'm autistic. The sensory nightmare it was awful. It was like a living hell. So let me explain it. So I go and I'm in the bathroom. I have a bath or a shower, one of the two. I think it was a bath because I used to have a nightly bath for relaxation. That was a thing that my mum got me into, I think, because of my autism, to help with my sleep, because I don't sleep. Okay. She always had struggles with me and sleep, just like Sir has with me and sleep. Okay. But at least we've got more access to medications. I'm on a high dose of melatonin that's meant to knock out an elephant and a horse and lots of people. I don't know. Anyway, my doctor said the level I need is high, and I think that's because, and I think he thinks that's because, autistics, we know, have a problem with producing melatonin. It has to be. So anyway, I use that, but I also use, luckily for me, I need an antihistamine because I'm very much an allergy-based system. My immune system is bad. So I take a Phenergan to go to sleep at night. So anyway, the combination of those, I tell you what, that melatonin gives you such quality sleep. And I can sometimes sleep without the Phenergan. Okay, if you have a high quantity of liquid melatonin that's compounded, very expensive, but if you need it, you'll pay. And basically, I'm on a high dose of that. I fall asleep with that alone, so I don't need the Phenergan all the time, but I still take it. But I'm just saying, if you don't take a Phenergan, trust me, you need to give this melatonin a go. And melatonin is great for balancing out hormones and making sure that because that's, you know, part of that mix. So, just a tip there for sleep. Anyway, I screamed. I was terrified. I was shaking. I was traumatized. Anyway, she sorted me out with the womanly things. She's like, right, I've got this and I've got this. What do you want? I think she had tampons and these pads that look like surfboards for a Barbie doll. They were huge. They were super pads. I'm like, where does that goes in there? No. Nothing's going in there. No. That traumatized me because I was at that age of, I'm never having kids. That is so disgusting. All of the process, the making, the birthing, that's disgusting. Okay? I didn't even like boys in that way. When boys say, will you go out with me? I go, no. Like really meanly. in my high school years. That's why a boy that I went to high school with said at my reunion, I was so scared of you. You were really, really nice, but when I would talk to you sometimes, you were like Wednesday Addams. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry because I really liked you. We used to have great chats. He's like, I know, right? But sometimes you were so mean. I'm like, I'm sorry. I was just trying to like give the vibe of no boyfriends. I never had a boyfriend in high school. I didn't want a boyfriend in high school. I wasn't ready. I was an autistic girl. Anyway, but I had a lot of boy friends because I got along well with them. And I was the only one in technical drawing. And I wish I stuck out going that direct. I love tech drawing. I love it. It is exact. It is precise. There are rules. It is great. Creativity a little bit. I loved it. Anyway, so I was the only girl in that one. Same with extra phys ed that I did. I was the only girl. Had to survive. I grew up around boys too. Every street, every place I went to, all my mum's friends' kids were all boys. Yeah. So let's just put it this way. I can kick a football very well. I can play football with the boys just as good. Probably not men now, but you know. Anyway, so I screamed. I got the option. I chose the super pad. So girls, I hear you. If anyone's listening to this and you know your mum's giving you this video because you just started to go through this, I get it. You listen to this. So the next day I have to go to school. I had to go to school. Now, anyway, this is like after getting dressed into my PJs and putting this massive thing on that felt like I had like, you know those big lilos you blow up to like float on in the ocean or at the pool? I felt like that was between my legs. That's what it felt like. That's a sensory feel. You didn't like it. And so I would walk like this. And I remember sitting on my bed and I'm and my mum is saying, this is a beautiful thing. This means you can have babies. I don't want to have babies. I'm not having babies. That's made it worse. Because then I was like, excuse me, young man. Do you see my cat on my table? Yes. I have my Halloween decorations on there. And, sir, excuse me. Oh, are you sniffing the Halloween decorations? Well, as long as you don't break anything, you can sit there. He's a cheeky boy, this one. Look at him. White cat on white table. I know it's hard to see. He's there. Anyway, so I cried. I went to bed later that night because all I could think about was every month. Because, I know school tried to prepare me, but I wasn't listening because I was like, ew, it's not going to happen to me. Ew, it's not going to happen to me. I was in denial. That was in year 7. That's when I was 12. I was grossed out. They showed us the ones from the 1900s, I swear, because I'm 50, right? So the stuff they showed, that's trauma. You don't do that to 12-year-old girls. What were they thinking? We had the one with the straps and the thing that goes down the middle. Awful contraption. What the hell is that? I won't wear that. Looks like you're trying to, close me up. How am I supposed to go toilet? I need to go to toilet and do a wee. Anyway, I was very confused. So basically, I sobbed. It was a hard night. I was very traumatized. I walked to school the next day. I'm in high school. Awkwardness. High school every day is awkwardness. Everything. Is your hair right? Because, you don't want to get picked on. That was part of my masking. I was very good at doing hairstyles. I get compliments for that because I had to be, because it was like a cover. Now, I couldn't sort of hide the fact that I would be so stupid and unaware of my surroundings, like gross motor skills and things were pretty bad. And, we had many poles. We had long corridors, which are outdoor corridors. It's Australia, right? The weather's always beautiful. And it was just had a arched roof over it. And we had these skinny poles all the way along on both sides. And so we would walk down there, and because we came from, most of me and my friends, we were from Hillary. So we came from that end of the school, which meant to walk to the main part of most of our classes was at the opposite end. So we would walk all the way through, and of course, and especially coming back from the library or anything like that, and I'd be so chatty with my friends that I'd walk into a pole so many times to the point where they'd go, are you okay? Even some teachers that walk past, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Didn't it hurt? Yeah. They're just looking at me like, you're an idiot. But I've got high pain threshold. So I just didn't care about it. I was a dork, okay? My friends used to, make lovingly jokes about me with me. But still, it was hard, but it wasn't done maliciously, if that makes sense. But I was a dork, and I accepted that. So I walked to school, and I'm trying not to walk like this, but all I'm feeling is this massive thing between my legs, okay? And I'm thinking back now, why super? And I wore that thing all day. I was supposed to change it at some point. I was too scared to even go to the toilet and look. Now, anyway, at the beginning of my periods, it was just ridiculously nothingness, right? Luckily. So, I don't know how everyone else's was, but mine was just like that. Then it got to the point where I actually got, I think there's a name for it now that you guys get recognized for. I didn't. Extremely heavy periods, ridiculously heavy. I would pass massive 50-cent piece size clumps of It looked like it was something. It was like, geez, what is that, an alien? Terrible. I had terrible pain. It really interfered, but the only good thing for me was being that I was, because I know with my phys ed, we had to be tested when we were learning how to be an aerobics instructor and a personal trainer. This is the stuff we learned at this school if you did your extra phys ed. And I remember we had to do the fitness test. And I remember my phys ed teacher saying, like, I know you're a dancer and all, but geez. Like he had to, when we did the stretch one, and it's the box, he had to go get a ruler from the office because I went past the measurement on the box. And he goes, you were just a machine. I don't know what's wrong with you. Lost and lost, right? So he goes to get the ruler and he had to measure it. It's about 5 centimeters over. Anyway, he thought it's just flexibility from dancing. But basically, he said, like, right, we did the whole, physical test like you do for the army or whatever. He goes, you are mega fit. Okay, you are just off the chart fit. And I said, I know, right? And I loved being fit. I miss it now. Like, I genuinely miss it now. And that's why it's so frustrating, because people that look at people like me who are so sedentary probably think, oh, they probably really, love it and relaxed about, oh, they don't have to do anything that's, hard work in the sense of physical exertion. And it's like, no. I used to run a lot. That was great for my ADHD. I went to the gym when my kids are at school at older age groups daily. I would do a class, and I'm talking about Les Mills, heavy, hard classes, step classes, all of the different ones I would do. The cycling classes, they were hard, but I'd make myself do one a week. But no, I used to do all of the Les Mills stuff. And so I was very, very fit, and I needed that for my ADHD, and it did help me sleep at night time. But that was only the time when I was physically able to with my disability, because I was born with this disability, so I haven't always had the best of health. But basically, it was so sensory hard to deal with this. And every month it was traumatizing. And even writing down on my diary, and in those days I had book diaries, you had like a student diary, and you get given it by the school. This is your student diary, and you must put down when your homework and assignments are due, and blah, blah, blah. And of course, I would put like a secret little sign above or below the date to know when I'm next due. And then, of course, being so OCD, I would put like 2 days before of warning, because just know, young'uns, sometimes 2 days before, it can come early. And then it can also be 2 days late. Now, I was pretty regular. I was the 28-day chick. 28 day, 28 day, 28 day, 28 day. And anyway, and I was also told, be very careful. In our family, we're very, very fertile. Okay? Don't even go swing with the boys. And my grandfather had me convinced that kissing a boy will get me pregnant for a long time. I'm autistic. I took it like more than just maybe a kid would take it. I literally believed him for a while there. It was funny. Anyway, so here I was trying to manage this at school, and it was so hard. And those weeks that I had to deal with that, every week, a month, you need to support your autistic daughter in this. It is really brutal. It will affect her mental health possibly. It will affect her that week that her cycle is going on. Please support them. Please talk to them. Please even try and accommodate to the sensory problem. There might be better sanitary pads that take away, and I know these days they're such better than what they used to be. Before, you used to feel everything, just sitting in wetness. It was great. No, there was no absorption really. Well, there was, but you know what I mean. It wasn't the no wet feeling. But these days they have amazing products. But you still need to keep an eye on whether your daughter is happy with those and really communicate and keep that openness, and sort of help them with those moods, because yes, there will be more meltdowns because they're struggling with hormones, they're struggling with adolescence, and then they're struggling with periods, which are a sensory nightmare for an autistic. That sensation of stuff coming out, that it's not like going to the toilet and you've got control of the liquid coming out of you. You don't have control. This is like those dolls where you give them the bottle and it just comes straight out there and you go, I don't wee that quickly, doll. This doll is fake. That's what I said as a kid. As an autistic kid, when I had that baby doll, and you put the bottle of water in, I don't know if it still exists, and it wees straight away, and we used to have it sitting on a little potty, and I used to be like, it's fake, it's not real. And they're like, yeah, because it's not a real baby, it's just a doll. And I'm like, no, but I don't wee straight away. I don't drink, like, you know, here I go. Oh, wrong end. I'm not weeing myself right now. I still don't understand. Like, I really feel for any of you women that have to go through that now. So let me mention that. Apparently in older age or just after childbirth, leakage and weeing and needing pads is a thing. I really feel for you, all of you, and particularly autistics, but all of you. I don't have that problem. I'm rather concerned. Am I from a different country, different planet? Why do I not have that problem? Anyway, I feel for you on that one too, because for an autistic woman, that must be a nightmare. But that's another one that can happen. So really just stay in tune, because periods are uncomfortable, and maybe on the heaviest day or days, if it is that tough for a pocket of time, speak to the school. Maybe do some schooling at home. And I know some people might say, oh, that's so dramatic and that's so pampering. No, it's not. When someone is very, very autistic, and that is literally, I mean, I know that sitting in class, I was not focusing. When I'm literally feeling like I'm bleeding to death, I was not concentrating. I was not able to manage the mess. So I had to tie a jumper around me. I was not managing it because I was put in a situation that, unfortunately, without my parents being told I'm autistic and describing it in depth, that means that she's not going to be able to cope with things that is her age group that you think she can cope with. So punishing her for not being her age group is wrong. And you need to look at her age group as a different age group, and that she can't manage this, and you're going to have to help her manage this. So that's why I'm saying that to you guys. It is something that needs to be managed by parents for an autistic girl with periods. Underneath, good boy, he's going in his cubby. So it is a nightmare. I wasn't coping with it. And it could have caused more teasing. If I wasn't so clever at, I don't know, being really into my theatre arts and going lunchtime to theatre arts or music and doing that during lunchtime, or playing in the volleyball competitions to stay out of the face-to-face contact and just struggling, doing dance during lunchtime with the dance teacher at school, because I went to a theatre art school, to avoid, you know, having to socialise in a way that I struggled with. I would go to the library and read up on dinosaurs, volcanoes, even in high school, just to sort of hide away from my friends and do something that, say if it was a high sensory issue day, I'd go to the library because I knew it was quiet. And if I'm on my own, then I was able to be quiet. So, you know, that's the things that I did. And, you know, it was a struggle. And so I'm just saying, please speak to your teenage daughter who's got periods, who's autistic, because they will not tell you. I didn't tell my mum that I wasn't coping with it. I didn't tell her that I was bleeding through, I was having issues, I couldn't concentrate at school. Those days were a total waste of time, that my moods were just so awful that I would not even be around people. I would hide away. The meltdowns were awful, and the pairing up of my cycle, she wouldn't have probably like paired the two. Or if she did, she probably would have thought, well, I handle my PMT, why can't she? Because she didn't know about my autism. So if you know about your daughter's autism, you're ahead of the game. So anyway, that's the school experience. Make sure they've got the right, and I would recommend bike shorts, the real booty shorts, to go underneath everything. Now, I used to have to wear a pleated skirt and it was right down to my knee, but I'd still tie a jumper around me, and that was thick material, but I'd still bleed through. And you have to have very firm underwear, and make sure that you really experiment with different pads, because they're all different. And if your daughter has a heavy cycle, speak to a doctor, because they have been minimizing us ladies for decades. They lied. That's not a problem at all. That pain, like you feel like your uterus is, someone's put a vacuum cleaner towards you and gone, and all your insides are being sucked out, and you're just like wanting to scream. That is not normal. So if you do have those extreme pain and heavy bleeding, like in an hour, I would bleed through a tampon and a pad in an hour. Go to a doctor, please. And a doctor that listens and doesn't fob it off as being, oh, it's just a period, everyone gets it. Jeez. What the hell is wrong with you? Okay, that's not an appropriate response. It's not professional, and it's not believing you. Why shouldn't you be believed? Then we get into this point where we have children. Okay, for an autistic woman, that's tough. There should be clinics for that, or clinic staff in clinics for that, because we are stupid. And I say that in a nice way. I don't mean that we're stupid in a way that we should be treated as less than. I'm just saying I didn't understand the information given, even though I was a grown woman. You need to be more descriptive, more direct, more open and transparent, and very, very precise about what's going to go on or going on for that pregnant autistic mum. And one good thing is most autistic mums are overly attentive about their pregnancy, their baby, everything, because it becomes their hyper focus. But also, the birth is very difficult, particularly the first, because they can't prepare themselves sensory-wise. It's very tough. My second birth was easier. Now, that's for reasons too of like my second birth was quicker, it was less painful, but more intense pain, but just quicker. I didn't have any pain relief in the end because it didn't work. Okay, they botched my epidural. Great public system in Australia. They botched it, and when they did the ice check, a long time later, I said, I've got nothing. I can feel it all. And they said, well, the anaesthetist has gone home. That's it. They kept topping me up, and I'm like, well, that, as it didn't work because it wasn't in the right location. Anyway, both my large big toes, they are large, aren't they? Your big toe. Duh. Both my big toes are half numb since my epidural for my second child. It is what it is. So just be careful what doctor you deal with. When you get pregnant, I would actually plan and have private cover and actually choose your doctor, because I'm just saying, it's not good. Anyway, so that was painful. I had to rip that gas mask off my fingers because I was like, you're not taking it. You're not. Anyway, yeah, so that was ouch. But I was good with births because I am Ehlers-Danlos. I'm very flexible, which means I didn't have any stitches for either children, no problems, normal births, everything was fine. Except for my first, the cord was around his neck, that was scary. So basically, but that was a better qualified doctor, thank goodness. But that's a hard thing to support them through. Then we get to the point of perimenopause. Now, I was told that this would happen early because in our family it happens early. Now, the studies actually say that 20 years after your last birth, you will probably most likely start perimenopause. That's the stats at the moment. That's the current research, okay? So roughly around there, that's when you should expect it. But I was told by my family, however, it did kind of line up with that. Maybe a few years short, but it did line up roughly with that. So anyway, my doctor said, luckily for me, it was very honest. I was told, well, she wasn't very good because it was like, you're in perimenopause. And that was it. And I'm like, menopause? But I'm still having periods. No, perimenopause. Ah. Okay. And I'm too busy thinking that the autistic brain's going, no information was given. No pamphlet, nothing. Just, yep, you're in perimenopause. And so I leave, and nothing. No support, no help. And I start having this irritability and behavioural mood changes, and I'm like snippy, and I'm just feeling a bit almost like PMT all the time, at times. And that's perimenopause. I would go to the shops, right? And I'd write my list, because I have OCD. I'd write my lists. I'm also autistic. I can't do these executive functioning things without a list. I used to wake up every morning as a house manager. I was a house manager for a long time. I ran that house like a tight ship. Everyone was taken care of, like a boss. I was number one. Okay, I was the backbone of that family. I made sure that those kids could go to school and live their best life at school, and go to work and live their best life at work, because the house was organized. They didn't have to do anything on the weekend. I did it all, right? So I'd get up in the morning and I'd go, housework list, food shopping list, what I'm cooking tonight list and how I'm doing it. What have the kids got on today? Soccer, football, scouts, whatever. What else do I have to buy? Oh, I've got to buy a doona for this kid, or I've got to get some new sheets for us, or whatever. I've got to clean the linen cupboard. I've got to clean the pantry. I've got to clean the fridge, whatever. I'd have set things, and I'd have on my kitchen bench all these skinny lists all lined up, numbered. What am I going to do first? Right, I'll do the food shopping first because it's quiet in the morning. So when you drop your kids at school, that's the best time to go. And I'd number them all. So anyway, I'd go shopping and I'd be like, la. In those days, shopping centres were quiet. The music wasn't so loud. So I'd just be going around there. And quite often I'd see a lot of the ladies from school, other mums, and I'd be like, oh, hi. And we'd have chats. And we'd bump into each other around the aisles and giggle, It's you again. Jeez, you're stalking me. So as I'm going around, of course I get home and I'm like, I've forgotten 2 things. How? I don't do that. I have OCD. I am very good at this. This is what I'm good at. And I go back to the shop after I've eaten lunch or something, right? And I'd get those 2 things. So I thought I'd get there, fall for some of the specials. Yep, you guys, Woolworths used to get me every time. Look, I used to be a Coles shopper originally, early days, and then I swapped to Woolworths. I go with whatever was most affordable. So I go down there and I come back with one of the things I forgot out of the 2 and the other stuff. I get home and I go, oh, I forgot that one thing. And having OCD, well, I'm not going to sit down and just chill. I'm going to go back down and get it because I can't chill now. I can't chill. You have memory problems. This is perimenopause. Look up the symptoms, write them down, have them in your face every day. And when you're having a struggle, go, yep, it's happening. And speak to your doctor and say, this is what's going on for me. Speak to your family. Speak to even your children. Hey, Mummy is so sorry. Mummy's memory is not good because of my hormones are being... And like I would do this. If I snapped at my kids, which was so rare because I tried to overcompensate because my mum was a yeller and I didn't want that because it just makes me shrivel up like this. So if I yelled at them and if it wasn't warranted because I was irritable, I would always go up to them and say, hey, look, I'm so sorry for yelling. Mummy's stressed about this. It wasn't you, it's me. And this had to happen during perimenopause. And at the end of the day, it is a real problem. Memory problems. I wasn't sleeping. I was talking to the doctor about it, but did you think they paired that themselves? No, just take a drug, do this. There was no discussion about perimenopause. It's quite impactful symptoms. Not remembering things is a bad thing. If your kid needs laces for their soccer boots, okay, you forget that. Not good. You forget the oranges. Okay? Not good. Getting irritable, around your kids and your kids having to witness that and not knowing why. Having like a little bit of maybe feeling a bit depressed, maybe feeling a bit anxious. That's what happens because of perimenopause. Your hormones are going nuts. And as an autistic, an interoception plus alexithymia. Nightmare. It needs to be discussed, and particularly doctors, you need to hear this. Talk to your autistic patients differently. Be overly like the book of the dummy's book for perimenopause, the dummy's book for menopause, the dummy's book for periods. Be specific to a nauseating point where you feel nauseated. You have to point it out over in tiny detail what's going to happen when that baby comes or during the pregnancy. You have to be specific. If you're a parent of these children, even if they're adult children, just throw them those advice bits. Hey, how are you going with this? Because that can be hard. They might not be struggling, but there's no harm in asking. You find that bit hard? No, okay, cool. That's good. Or if they are, you can say, yeah, I did too. I did this. Don't know if it's going to work for you because we're different people, but I don't know, give it a go. Be in tune. Okay? Men, our partners, our sons, our people around us should know what women go through. Should be taught that for their own wives in the future. Because it's going to be a thing. They're going to see their wives go through all sorts of things. And they need to be able to be a supportive husband. And it's hormone-based, meaning it's not their fault, not a choice. Then you've got menopause. Well, I got all the way to menopause. I'm coming up to nearly 2 years with no periods. Not one doctor has helped me through it, has educated me through it. That's in Australia, first world country. That's disgusting. I'm 50. This all should be expected. I know that I might be young. Some of you might be thinking, oh, but you're young. But I had children young. So my first birth was when I was 20. My second birth, I was 21. Okay? So naturally, I'm a young mum. Like I said, the stats are 20 years after your last birth, there seems to be a bodily cycle. Our body goes, right, you're obviously not having kids anymore. Kicking into this cycle. That seems to be the signs. But basically, it doesn't matter. Women should be looked into for perimenopause. I told all my doctors, when relevant, my mum, my nana have expressed that their menopause started a bit younger than obviously the norm. I didn't know what that meant, but I remember it. So I remembered it. So I would say that. So I was expecting that. And I was even told, like I said, that I'm in perimenopause and I was only 30 something. So that's a tough thing. So let's talk about it, ladies. And particularly in the autism world, because, this alexithymia really affects emotions. So even if we are in distress, just know if you ask that autistic, they're not going to be able to tell you. They'll probably just say to you, I just feel real rah. They might use one word. You need to pull out something. There are so many tools. I have cards, emotions cards, right? I don't know why they've got faces on it because that means nothing to me because I can get two, like there's I can't remember the two, but there's two facial expressions that I get mixed up. And there's probably even more. But I can read the word. And there's even a pinwheel one now that has tons of emotions that you can purchase that can help you to narrow down for someone who wants to speak to you about your emotions because you've got alexithymia, to pinpoint emotions. Even just print off a computer massive emotions lists, right, of all different positive, negative emotions, okay? Positive and negative. And then the person who has autism can say, I feel that, feel that. I feel that. And it's wonderful for children. Wonderful for children. To teach them how to regulate their emotions. Autistic or not, but particularly for autistic children. They have alexithymia. Don't even bother about worrying about whether they should be tested. If they're autistic, they have alexithymia. They will find it, they would only know happy, mad, sad, or glad. That's it. And when they say that, that's not specific enough for most situations. Because think about it, most situations where we're highly emotional is complex situations. So anyway, having a period as a teenage girl, for any teenage girl, is a nightmare and difficult and kind of awkward and uncomfortable. But when you add in autism, it is literally a nightmare. Okay, a sensory nightmare. We're too immature because a lot of us have a very developmental delay with our intellect, with our social. It's not good, guys. And I struggled massively, and I wanted to do this video to make sure that there are mechanisms out there for someone to find this video, share it with their daughter, speak to their daughter, because it is a tough time of life. And women, even without autism in this, please, let's just give each other the recognition that this existence of having periods, perimenopause, having periods, having babies, perimenopause, periods once a month too, babies, perimenopause, and menopause. Don't scratch my sheets, young man, that's naughty. That's a lot for us to deal with, ladies. So let's honor each other. Let's look after each other. If you know someone that's your friend, whether you're a teenage girl or whether you are an adult, if you see a friend having a tough time because of these things, have an extra cup of coffee with them once every now and then. Catch up with them more often while they're going through this. And even ask directly, hey, I know you're in perimenopause. How are you going? And share your experience and talk together about it. Now, if they don't want to, respect that boundary. Some people don't want to talk about things. But I'm just saying, as a sisterhood here, let's just keep an eye out for each other. And I know that some people might say, it wasn't a problem for me. That's great. That is great. I genuinely mean that. But for some, it's not. For some, it actually affects their relationships. It actually affects their life. And maybe their work life. So it's a thing. So please just, let's be open and honest, ladies, because the medical system has let us down. I know in my country, it is disgusting. I've never received a perimenopause pamphlet. I've never received a menopause pamphlet. I've never been sent to a clinic, and we do have them in Perth, and I've never been sent to it. I've done it all by myself, and I'm an autistic person who needed guidance. I've got a partner who's my carer. He doesn't know jack shit about, he doesn't know anything about what a woman goes through, of course. He's a man. He's always tried to be supportive, absolutely. But he can't be a woman and go, oh, it feels like this, I'll help you out. So us women need to stick together. Anyone, if you're out there listening, not that there probably would be, and you're in the medical field, you must make sure that you look out for this as being a real thing medically, that's change of body stuff that a woman goes through. Okay? For it takes us a year to recover from a childbirth, right? Physically, mentally, hormonal based. If you look up hormones in psychology, trust me, you will see how much behavioral stuff it causes. Hormones are the dictator of our behavior, a lot of it. And I'm not saying all of it because it's not the case, but I'm saying it plays a large role. Okay, otherwise your PMT, if someone is out there saying, oh, I disagree, hormones don't play a role, look it up. Look up the research, look up the science. Because otherwise then you have to say to yourself, then your PMT is an excuse for being irritable. It's not. It's hormonal based. Okay, men have certain behaviors like testosterone. They get all because it's testosterone. Okay, it is the case. We're more emotional because of our hormones. And that's so that we can be all, oh, the baby's crying, I've got to support the baby. It makes us more like, I know when I was pregnant and I'd hear a baby cry, I'd want to cry. Okay? That's how much the bodies start doing hormones in pregnancy for a baby's cry. It is all for a reason. We are not built just for the sake of the way we're built. It's just how it is. There is a reason for everything. So anyway, I hope this helps because I think it's an important topic for autism and women. So yeah, if you want to share like the beginning bit with any adolescent, or take what I've said and share this with an adolescent and go into depth with an autistic adolescent, because I promise you, it's harder for sensory issues. Talk about the sensory issues. You might want to talk about what type of underwear, what type of pads, what type of way you want to carry out those days of when the cycle's happening. Have a serious talk and allow them to have options, because it is a sensory nightmare. More than just being a teenage girl saying, oh, I hate having periods. It's more than that for an autistic. And when they're having their PMT, they don't know how to manage it and express it to you because of alexithymia. So I hope that helped. Love you guys. Bye. And sisterhood, I salute you. You've all done and suffered a lot, okay? It's not easy being a woman. Bye.